The great Oz has spoken.
Oh!
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Brother Jackson knows in his heart that I speak perfect Aussie. Good day, mate. Amazing.
Is he fair dinkum? What a knob jockey. Oh, well, you'd have to be an Aussie to understand those words, Brother Let. Say hello, Dorothy. Oh, she had a lot to say just a moment ago. God, you must all think she just doesn't speak at all. But she does, I promise you. Never mind. Right, well, point of this video, at a recent International Assembly held here in Australia in Melbourne, and this is thanks to Noe Ximenez on YouTube, and I'll post the link and their account details in the comments, and I thank them very much for putting these clips onto YouTube, so I didn't have to go and sit to listen to that crap. I can listen to it at the pleasure. Yeah, that's right, we listened to Brother Let just a moment ago. That was crap. Anyway, new thought. About the third heaven from an obscure scriptural reference in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2, and they put this as new light. But is it new light, or is it mutton dressed up as lamb? And that's what we're going to see. So to start with, we'll cut to a clip just as an introduction for this. So here we go. We'll see you on the other side.
Let us discuss a new understanding of Bible truth. Now, you'll find this very interesting. Please open to 2 Corinthians chapter 12. And we're going to discuss a vision the Apostle Paul had, and I think you'll find it fascinating, this new understanding of this. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, let's begin reading in verse number 2. Here Paul says, I know a man in union with Christ who 14 years ago, whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught away to the third heaven. Yes, I know such a man, whether in the body or apart from the body, I do not know, God knows, who was caught away into paradise and heard words that cannot be spoken and that are not lawful for a man to say.
Right, so new understanding on this third heaven that Brother Let just read. Now I've just clipped it, so it's only the shorter bit for you to watch. You're welcome to look at the link as I mentioned before, and you can watch the whole part that I've taken the clips from. But new light on an obscure reference in 2 Corinthians about the Apostle Paul potentially made about himself, and that's, you know, other non-Jehovah's Witness scholars agree with that, and you just read that scripture and it's pretty clear. But is there anything new in this talk, or is it just an noetic presentation by a governing body member who fancies himself really speaking? Oh, that's bitchy. Oh, he's better to speaker than me. I'm just jealous. Anyway, so is it something new? Well, old is new and new is old in the Watchtower Society. And I dug out my Watchtower library CD I had on my laptop. And in the Watchtower of 1970, on page 767, a question from the reader is, what is the third heaven and paradise to which 2 Corinthians 12:2 and 4 refers? And just to cut to the chase of it, it says, it therefore appears that the reference to the third heaven relates to the spiritual heavens and indicates the superlative degree of the rapture in which the vision was seen. So it's just basically saying that Paul had a vision of the heavens, and now the third heavens is what this talks. It really go, and a lot of others have commented, John Cedars and different ones, that really it doesn't make a lot of sense. Basically, I could follow what he was saying, and they use that old reasoning like, oh, you must, clearly seen and undoubtedly. So if you don't agree with them, obviously, you're not a good scholar or whatever. But there's not really anything new. It's just, it's called anoetic. It's just full, lively, but without any substance. But that's the point. So it doesn't seem to be anything new. I've got another clip near the conclusion of it, because this is the point of this talk was to release another tract to get them all excited that there's something new to put on their stands and to push. So we'll cut to that one now and have a listen and watch that one, and we'll catch you after. And by the way, when I just play the clip for just to refresh while I do this, she blows raspberries every time she hears Brother Let speak. He's just, hey, don't do it to me. So we'll see you on the other side of this one. Bye.
But really, as we've really examined this matter, the new world is a combination of both the new heavens, Messianic kingdom, and the new earth. New heavens, new earth, combination, the new world. But now here's an interesting point. What does it mean when it said Paul heard words that could not be spoken? It's not lawful for a man to say. Well, it wasn't time then for Paul to tell all the details of what he had seen in that vision. But now is the time, isn't it, brothers and sisters, to tell people about the blessings of the coming kingdom.
Right, welcome back. So, why is now the time, the opportune time, to say these things that were unspeakable and not meant to be spoken of? Where in the Bible does it say that now is the time for these things that were not meant to be said to be spoken of now? That we heard before. It's just full of conjecture. Even when I was a JW, I always had an expression that I used once and I got told off for. I said there's a lot of people are premature expectationalists, and that's what they do. They just trying to, and especially the governing body, because they make it up as they go. They're reading into everything and trying, because they're constantly trying to prove that they have God's blessing and out with the new light. Down with the old light, in with the new. What's old becomes new, and what's new becomes old. But why is now the time to understand this third heaven as they point out, that it's a indication of the theocratic organization of God? That's the basic point. What they're trying to say, that the vision that Paul had was looking into this third heaven, and that the third heaven is the whole of the new world, which they view new world as the paradise on earth and the Messianic kingdom in heaven. So what would be their reason? Well, as I said, old is new. So looking into the Watchtower of 1952, page 248, there's a paragraph that they studied called Vertical and Horizontal Rapture. Yeah, that's right, Dorothy. She wants to touch everything. And it talks about the vertical rapture, and that's what it's saying, that what Paul saw, and this is quoting their words, what Paul saw was no prophecy but an actual insight into the operations of God's masterful invisible organization. Here we go. We're using the Watchtower Society's theocratic terminology, throwing organization, his invisible organization. Now it says, doubtless this enabled Paul not only to be such a stout advocate for strict adherence to principles of theocratic organisation in the early congregation, which the Bible doesn't talk about anything like that, but to introduce additional organisational procedures and counsel based on this experience of vertical rapture. So, what's the point of Brother Let's Talk? Perhaps it's just to seem deep and meaningful. I remember in the 2011 district convention that I had to go to because I was trying to get back into the organisation just for the sake of my other children, that couldn't be used as a reason not to see me. There was a demonstration, and it was talking about the understanding of the generation, and these two mature brothers were witnessing, and one's like, oh, I really don't understand, and how this works out and what this means, and the other one's like, well, you've got to have trust in Jehovah, you've got to leave it up to the faithful and discreet slave. They know, they're the ones who tell us, even if we don't understand it, it's right. So that made me, when I saw this video, that made me think of that is this coming under that principle that they said where to follow directions given by the governing body, even if it doesn't seem to valid or appears odd from a human standpoint. Yes. Exactly, Dorothy. I think so too. But the rank and file, they'll hear this and just think, they may not understand any of it, and I doubt a lot of them did, but they'd be all sitting there applauding, swallowing it down, going, oh, isn't this wonderful, new light from Jehovah, isn't the governing body wonderful, they're being directed by Holy Spirit. And, it's just rehashing old things to make it seem new, to make it seem fresh. They've got their jw.org brand. The brand has been designed for them. They're pushing that. Old is new, new is old. But, it's sad. So really only time will tell. We'll see what comes out. I know the March study article, study magazine, there's quite a lot of, in their view, new changes. Have to have a read of that, but I don't like reading that stuff. It's too depressing, but we'll have a look at it just to see. But let's watch this space. Let's see what comes out. I think that Watchtower of 1952 is prepping. There was big organisational changes back then. Think about 1954, they stopped praying to Jesus. So who knows? They're just following. They've got nothing new. They just rehash old things, turn them up. So let's see. We'll wait and see. It'll be interesting days. But the one thing I am so grateful for is that Dorothy here is free from that. She's never going to experience the constraint, the undue influence. I'll never apply that to her. She's welcome to learn about any and every religion if she wants to. There you go. She's talking. Hallelujah. Yes, there is a God. Whatever. All right. Well, Dorothy, we've got to go. Cook pizza. Ooh, nice. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please have a look up that reference. I'll put the Watchtower articles listed in the comments too. So as I've said in my comments to my this YouTube, I'm not here to just I think this and I say that. Well, I do think some things. That's my honest opinion. That's why I have my own YouTube channel. If you have your own honest opinions, well, I really recommend you put them into record them and put them out yourself. Yes. But yeah, I always put the cited where I've quoted things from, so you can look them up yourselves. Anyway, it was nice to talk to you all, and I've got some book reviews coming up that I'm reading through and making some notes, and we'll see you again another time. So, all right, babe? Ooh, I almost said her name. It's not yet. So, Dorothy, let's say goodbye to everyone. Say goodbye. Ooh. God, g'day, mate. What a knob. See you later. Bye.
Now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.